Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the YTP Mini. I'm Jess.
I'm Beej.
And today, what are we talking about, babe?
We can talk about your training.
All right, cool.
Where are you at? First of all, what are you training for?
I am training for my first 100 miler, Tahoe Rim Trail 100.
Let's see how many weeks you're out. You are... Wait, it's not even in Training Peaks. What's the date?
July 18th. We're putting this into Training Peaks as we speak. 21 weeks.
21 weeks.
Okay, cool. So, you've never trained anyone for a 100 miler. I've never run a 100 miler. And that doesn't cause me any pause of doubt whatsoever, because you have always trained me to absolutely crush the race. And I feel like I've had incredible success in my trail running and triathlon for the years that you coached me in triathlon. I had a couple different coaches at the beginning, but I've been with you now for, I don't even know.
Forever, it seems.
Yeah, probably like the last 7 years I've been with you coaching me. And also, you know, I show up and I do the work and I'm really consistent. Where do you feel like I am and where we are in this process?
We're at a really good spot. I think we really ramped up slowly. We took your downtime really well, which you love to do. You love to separate your training, racing, take a pause and then ramp it back up. And during that time, you built strength. You got into a consistent strength routine. So anything that we do, really anything that we do, is just layering on top of this foundational strength that you've been doing every day consistently. What's important is to keep you consistent and build upon this foundational strength that you have and slowly begin to add in longer sessions. So I think we started with a 2-hour trail run and then 2:15 and then maybe a 3-hour, and then we went to 3:15. Then we backed it off for a week because of camp. And now we're at, what did we do yesterday?
Four and a half.
4.5. But you also did Sunday.
4.5.
4.5. So
I did the same exact run on Sunday that I did yesterday.
So back to your original point, there's no way I can plan back-to-back runs, with a day of rest in between. Like, I wouldn't have planned that. But what happens is we have a discussion. We see where your body's at. We see where your mind's at. And then we assess the situation. And then I program a session for you. So it just aligned that you would do back-to-back runs of 4.5 hours because you were feeling good, right?
But I also got the hit on Sunday when I was on that run. I got the hit that I was going to do the exact same run on Tuesday. So I had already decided in my mind, because my body felt really good. But when I say decided, it was like I decided to go along with that, knowing that I was going to do it again. So it was like I knew what was coming. But I'm also very available to be flexible if that wasn't the case. But it was like I pre-paved it. Like, I felt so good on Sunday. I was like, I had this hit that I was going to do it again on Tuesday. Not a want, not, oh yeah, I'm going to like do it again. And,
do it faster.
Yeah, and do it fast. And actually,
right.
We did end up doing it faster. It was just this knowing that I was going to be back out there. And so that allowed me to pre-pave it, where I really paid attention. I mean, I always pay attention to my nutrition and things like that. But I had never done 17-mile runs within 48 hours before. But I did pre-pave it with mindset and nutrition, and just perhaps it allowed me to pay a little more particular attention to how I was spending my moments in between those two 17-mile runs. Like last night we split a beer, and you asked me if we wanted to split another one, and I said, oh, and you said, what do you want? And I said, I want to be clear tomorrow. So we didn't split a beer. We didn't split a second beer. And so I'm always thinking about how I want to feel. And then we can pre-pave that with our mindset and the thoughts that we choose and the focuses that we want to have. So it was really successful because I ended up getting in a 50K between Friday and Sunday. And then if you look at Sunday to Tuesday, it wasn't another 50K, but those two added up to, another 34 miles. So, but even the week of camp, I was still sitting in the high 40s for mileage. So even though we took my long run down, the way that we had structured the camp and everything, it just ended up that I was still able to get in the amount of miles that I have been maintaining but I wasn't attached to having to get in. I was like, oh, that's cool if I take it down, because camp wasn't about my training. Camp was about the campers. It just so happened that I was able to get in like another 46-mile week or something like that.
So what happened? You felt really good on Sunday, and then we went out yesterday, did the same run. So how did you feel during yesterday's run? What was the?
I felt even better than
flow?
Sunday. And I think I said to you, like, this was the best Trail Tuesday I've felt. I feel like the last like 3 Trail Tuesdays that we've gone out and gone long, I've not felt that great, because the load of Sunday was still carried into my legs. I felt really good yesterday.
I think that's a really key point too, because we're backing up. Let's backtrack a few weeks or a few months where we're finding this formula for you, which is Sunday, Monday, right?
Sunday, Tuesday.
Or Sunday, Tuesday. And so these past few runs you just mentioned, you may have not felt as good on Tuesday, right? So we're not going to throw the Sunday, Tuesday thing out the window. This is something that you've aligned with. So yeah, there is a growth process, right? So those icky, yucky runs that you felt on Tuesday, get you to a point where you can come back that 1 week, and here it is, where you run strong on Sunday and you run strong on Tuesday. So the whole process takes time, and we can't put expectations on it that says, hey, Jess, we're going to do this again in 4 weeks. We're going to do the same exact thing. Maybe it's possible, but I'm not going to bank on it. This is where you are this week, and we've really capitalized on some good fitness. So we want to let this absorb, and we'll come back next week, and you may have a shitty Sunday run and a shitty Tuesday run. That's fine.
But I think that's what's so important about the consistency is, like, I have so much breathing space between now and Tahoe, and I've never been at this kind of mileage in February before. And I do feel that I'm putting miles and load on a really awakened body. And when I say awakened body, it's that commitment to the strength that I have been doing with Dr. Dave since July. I mean, I'm putting miles on a body I've never put miles on before. I have new parts of my body that are awakened, and I'm running from different parts of my body that I don't think I've ever run from. And so that's exciting, but that was being consistent. That was getting up at 3:30 in the morning. Like, when the success of my runs back in in August and September, the success of those runs really hinged on me doing all of those warm-up exercises and that deep foundational strength work. And then as I progressed, because I was consistent, now, this morning I went for a swim, and, I didn't do the strength before, but I'll do it today. I'll do it before my run. But I'm like not in that mode where the success of my run is hinging on me activating these muscles, because these muscles are now awakened and they are a part of my everyday running. So that's really exciting. I'm not playing catch up anymore. I'm in the slipstream of the momentum that I've created. I mean, it's nothing without consistency. It's nothing without consistency. So when you talked about taking my off season way down, coming off of Javelina, I was doing 20-minute runs every day. I did 20-minute runs for 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, 20-minute runs, just really easy 20-minute runs. And then we started to ramp back up again. And those 20-minute runs, and then the strength every single day, twice a day, that was huge. I was keeping the momentum.
Yeah, and that's the key, and what we talk about so much is that momentum continually going. And I just posted in our team page about not 20 minutes, but 15 minutes being 1% of your day. It's 1% of your day, right? Your full day, like, can you find 1% of something to get out there and put something in, like get a run done? And I think allowing your body to adapt to that strength that you were doing with Dave, but keeping the legs moving. So you weren't really taxing your body. You're not doing hill reps and long endurance runs where your body actually will break down to recover. This was just keeping you topped off. I think that's an important key to all athletes that all feel like they need to be moving all the time, right? And if it's not all or nothing, it's not big, they're not doing much.
Yeah, that's not a good recipe for anything. It's not a recipe. And we see it a lot. We see it a lot with people when they like read these inspirational books, and then, you know, that fades away, right? Because it's outside of you. You've got to derive the energy from within you. And when I say derive, I mean get your archaeological tools out and dig and go inside, and you'll realize that everything you need is in there, and the consistency doesn't come from this place of desperation. The consistency doesn't come from this place of obligation. It doesn't come from me feeling guilty if I don't do my workouts. It comes from a place of neutrality, just witnessing what I say I want to do in my life, and then witnessing how I show up for that. It's very neutral. Neutrality is not going to be achieved through the mind. It's going to be achieved through tapping into that neutrality that's already within you. And that has to happen through stilling yourself in meditation. It's the only way. Running is not a meditation. It's not a meditation. It can be a meditative movement if you are training your mind to have a one-pointed focus, but going into the self to realize the self, which is within the self, is going to happen in a sitting practice.
Yeah. I used to be one of those people. It was like, I'm going out for a run. I'm going to, really get aligned. But you're thinking. When you're on the run, you're thinking. There's no closing your eyes and concentrating.
And
right?
I think that is really important, to just let the mind run, too. I also
Absolutely,
think that's really important.
But that's not a replacement for
No.
morning stillness.
Nope.
And the very reason that you crave or experience that thought of this is my meditation running is the very reason you need to slow down. Like feel that necessity in your life to actually move, because I've heard this numerous times, that I need to run. You don't understand. I need to move. That's great, but also understand that need. Like, what does it feel like to be still? Like, feel the opposite of that. Can you still exist and still be the person you think you are without that necessity?
Right, because who you are has no needs. Because you're complete.
Right.
You're complete already. You're whole already. Yeah, so right now we're sitting in the high 40s, low 50s for weekly mileage. We're touching base every single day. And I'm 8 weeks out from my first race, which is Mendocino 50K. So to wrap this up, where do you see the space between now and 8 weeks before my first race? Do you see me ramping up higher mileage?
No, I see you stabilizing. I think Mendocino is going to be a big output for you, or that's what I anticipate your training going, like shooting for that Mendocino race, like being really solid in that race, letting it rest a few days, and then coming back really strong. So we're going to capitalize on that experience. So for right now, 40 to 50 miles is awesome. Let's just really hone in 40 to 50 miles, make that really comfortable.
Make that like it feels like it's my foundation now, which is really, that's lovely.
And that takes time. It's a process. You weren't doing that last year or the year before. You were coming close last year a few times.
Where?
The 50 miles.
Yeah, I was doing 50.
Yeah. But now it's going to be the norm.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's the norm, which is, consistency a little bit every day over a long period of time. So without consistency, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. It's not going to last. Your goals are always going to be more of a struggle than they need to be. Everything will be more of a struggle. Okay, one final thing before we sign off, which is super interesting and I'm really excited about, is I'm hosting a yoga retreat in Costa Rica, which is essentially 2 weeks out from Mendocino, and my plan is 0 running whatsoever. And there's some people who are going on the trip who have asked some of the teachers who are more local to them, saying like, oh, is Jess going to be doing planned runs? And I got to get my running in. And so they asked me that. I was like, no, I'm not running. No, so I'm going to do this fun little experiment where I go no running and I go deep into meditation and yoga for a week. And then when I come home, it'll be race week. So what do you think about that?
I love it. You're embracing the unknown. It's absolutely phenomenal that you're open to this, right? A lot of people would not be open to type of experiment like this. I mean, I would encourage this for everyone to do. Like, take it way down. Take it. Let your body just soak in all the fitness that you've layered in on it. You're not doing nothing. You're doing yoga and meditation. You're still training the mind and training the body. And then you'll probably be more durable coming out of this and more fit coming out of this experiment than if we trained you through it. Like, trying to get in runs while you're trying to run a yoga retreat, right? Like, let's not stack more on it. Let's just like shift the running aside and keep training the mind and body.
To be in this energy of service, to be in this energy of hosting these beautiful souls that want to go deep for a week in the jungle in Costa Rica, like to be in service of that and to put my agenda aside and be fully there, supportive and embracing and letting that life force churn and just let it build, let that fire build so I can unleash it in Mendocino. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Great job.